4 games, 4 draws. It's still all square at the World Chess Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana. But with every draw, the tension increases. They play just 12 classical games, and that means if there's a decisive result, then it has ever greater significance as the winning tape comes into view. The founder of Wikipedia, Jimmy Wales, executed the ceremonial first move on behalf of Fabiano Caruana. Luckily, he picked up the right pawn. The American challenger went for an unusual pawn sacrifice in the opening, and he continued playing his first few moves at rapid speed. It seemed that today he was prepared to really go for it. At least that was the intention. But Carlsen reacted well, reaching an endgame where Caruana had to demonstrate his defensive capabilities in order to hold the balance, which he succeeded in doing, and a friendly draw was agreed after 34 moves. After the game, both were asked whether they had a favourite player from chess history.
In terms of play, Fischer is still definitely up there. I mean, maybe not my absolute favorite player, but in terms of the results he achieved and the way he played at his peak, I think very few players compare.
Keeping that in mind, I would say my favorite player from the past is probably myself, like 3-4 years ago.
So, quick summary of the game. Caruana played a really adventurous opening, but it seemed that Carlsen wasn't surprised and he neutralised White's initiative very easily. And in fact, when they reached this endgame, it was Caruana with White who had to be rather careful. Well, you can see that Carlsen's rook threatens the pawn and can't really defend that very easily. But Caruana had anticipated this position. And here he'd actually calculated quite deeply and realised that he could basically force a draw from this position. So here's what he saw. Check. So that drags the king up the board. Now, normally, you'd think this looks quite good fun for black. Managed to take a pawn, and this passed pawn is waiting in the wings. But Caruana had appreciated that he could actually keep going with this variation. Black has to take that pawn, and now here's the point that Caruana, with this check, manages to pick up the dangerous b-pawn. So king comes here, rook takes pawn, and with the rook on the 7th rank, of course, White has fantastic counterplay. So Carlsen put the knight back here, not exactly the most active square for the knight, but as well as attacking the rook, it does defend this pawn. So a check, king takes pawn, and now king f1. And there are even a few little mate positions that black has to be careful of here. But basically, although Caruana is a pawn down, he can draw this position very easily because of his active rook. So there we go. After 5 games, it's now 5 draws.